This is my side of the story. Kama kawaida, I'm your host, Cookie the baddest, Cookie the illest, Cookie the lyrical mistress, and today I'm with Peace. Of course, he is my guest, and I'm going to let him introduce himself, of course, what he does. Umefika Karen finally.
Manze.
Jani imekuwa aje?
Ni kama nilikuwa naenda nchi ya nje huko Amerika.
Ulikuwa unaenda nchi ya nje?
Hii podcast yenu ni kama iko Ohio.
Iko Ohio. Cincinnati.
Minnesota.
Lakini hatujasota. Anyway, uko aje?
Niko mzima kama garanga za mvule.
Wewe. Is that pure Swahili?
Yes.
Wewe ni Mswahili?
Hapana. Kiswahili iko na wenyewe.
Na wewe ni mmoja.
Lakini si unajua Kiswahili kuna Kiswahili nyingi. Kati ya hizo nyingi moja hapo.
Kama garanga za mvule. Garanga ni nini jamani?
Droplets za mvua.
Oh, okay. Mvule ni mvua.
Ndio.
Oh, guys, at least leo nimelani kitu mpya. Mkiniuliza tena next time, kwa aje niko poa kama garanga za mvule. Anyway, Peace. Hiyo jina ni yako ama hiyo ni it's a different name? It's a nickname.
It's a nickname.
I had a feeling. Oh, actually nilikuwa nimeona M-Pesa yako ni Pius ama ni Pius. Unajua italingana na mwalimu wako wa Kizungu mwenye alikufundisha Kizungu pale kwenye darasa. Either it's Pius or Pius, si ndio?
It's Pius, yes.
Pius.
You're so right.
Okay, sawa. Kuna watu wanaitanga Pius, Pius. Okay, tueleze sasa. What do you do? Like, who are you on a normal day? Who is Peace on a normal day?
So, Peace is my mantra name. I call myself Peace because my intention is peace. My profession is yoga teacher.
Oh, you're a yoga teacher?
Yes.
Wow, nice. Okay.
And I am a mental wellness facilitator.
Nice. So speaking of yoga, because I know for a fact that yoga inakuanga na different types of, it has different intentions, okay? And a lot of people do that in order to contain energy. Is it to contain or to release energy? Please make us understand, because now you're the teacher.
It's both.
It's both, To contain energy and to release energy.
Yes.
To release negative energy, right?
Yes.
And also to contain the good energy.
To put the good energy inside.
Amazing. Tell us more. In terms of yoga, like there are some of the things that huwa tunasikia kuhusu yoga, it's demonic na hizo vitu zote. Is it true?
If it's demoniac.
Yes.
I hear that a lot from people who go to church.
Okay, not only people who go to church, but if you just go online and do an FYP search for yoga, you will see a lot of people say that it's. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing, by the way. These are not facts that I'm stating, but they say it's demonic. Is it true?
It's not true.
They say that it's like you're opening up a portal that you're not supposed to open when it comes to yoga.
It's not true. I began my journey back 2018. And I was seeking for myself. I was seeking peace. And I had tried different things in life in order for me to connect with myself. I had tried to attend motivational speaking kind of conferences. I had tried going to church. I had tried so many things with my life. And I didn't find anything which was helping me. I didn't find anything that could help, like in terms of connection.
Yeah.
And 2018, when I began my yoga journey, that's when I found something that really gave me a sense of connection And it was a life transforming for me, and it was also a life transforming for the community. I have been using this tool as a tool to express myself, and also as a tool to transform community, or to empower or influence the lives of other people. The idea or the concept of demoniac. So answering this question, I'll answer it from my own experience. So when we got our training, we were given an assignment. We have to go and be leaders of impact in the society. And for me, during that time, I was living in Italy. That's where I was living. And so every yoga teacher, depending on where they were living, they had to go and begin community yoga classes. Even today, many communities still practice yoga. Like if you come from a certain community, there is a yoga teacher who practices there. And so for me, I had to look like, when we began our yoga teaching, I was supposed to teach 5 community classes. In a week, I'm supposed to teach 5 classes. And so I had to look for places to teach. And there was a time that I went to places where people are religious, and I wanted to teach those places because some churches have centers like schools inside, and I wanted to bring yoga to the children. So you'll find like the church would actually allow me to come and have a conversation with them. And some of even would actually give me an opportunity to teach yoga to children, because I'm very good with children in the community. However, at some point, they would bring the idea that yoga is demoniac, and they will just cut me off. And it is something that happened a lot. And then I was very, is it flabbergasted or bamboozled?
For lack of a better word, bamboozled.
Then I thought, because when I would have conversation with the leaders in churches, I would address them. I would tell them that I am a Christian, I am a Christian, but I just a little bit of myself, and I don't want to talk about that a lot.
It's okay. It's a very open forum.
I have a background in Hinduism.
Oh.
Yes.
Umesoma some Hinduism.
Yes.
Okay.
So from 2011 to 2018, I was a monk. Yes, I stayed in the temple as a monk.
Wow.
And then I gave my life to Christ fully back in 2018. The gospel was preached to me by some missionaries, and I accepted Jesus as my Lord and my Savior. However, because of my trauma, I didn't want to work for someone.
Yes.
Because I could not regulate my emotions or process my trauma so well. So I wanted to work for myself so that I can be able to regulate myself and process my trauma so well. And the only thing that I found so helpful, the only thing that I found so helpful was my yoga practice. And I was expecting to also get some support from Christians. Let me not generalize Christians, because they are very nice Christians,
yes.
Intelligent Christians. But let me say I was really disappointed by most church leaders.
Oh, so basically the church disappointed you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I expected them, because I have just transitioned from Hinduism, and now I'm back home. the prodigal son is back home and is like looking for a party.
Yes.
And then they kind look at, I'm a Christian, but I'm doing yoga. So they're like, hey, we want that part of you that is Christian, but we don't
The
want
yoga
this
part,
We
yeah.
don't want it. So
And this was the youth in the church, or who did you approach in this period when you were trying to also find Christ?
like in terms of finding Christ?
Yes, when they told you the Christian part, you are converting into a Christian, right?
Yes.
So the yoga part, you have to leave it aside, but now you embrace Christianism fully. So was this in the youth, or it was just generally the church, or it was an individual, it was a father? Who was it in particular?
No, I was talking to the leaders in the church, like a father, or maybe I would talk to the leaders because my issue was complex. So I definitely went for big leaders. And for me, I didn't leave yoga because yoga was already working for me. It was actually helping me to connect with myself. But also that connection, I wanted to extend it into something bigger. You know, I wanted to use yoga as a tool to be able to express myself even more. And practicing yoga wasn't like taking away my faith, you see. So for me, I wanted to do yoga, but I also wanted to keep my faith. And for the leaders, they were struggling. The church leaders were struggling to like come in terms like, I am a Christian and I'm still can practice yoga. And the reason why I could not accept to leave yoga, and I have not left yoga, it's because yoga is the only tool that has helped me to become a better Christian. It's the only tool that has helped me to come more closer to Jesus, and it's the only tool that has helped me to actually, you know, create love for myself and create love for the community. Yes.
Amazing. And also, you have mentioned in your quest to finding peace, you know, transitioning from Hinduism to Christianism, you regulating your emotions. You've talked about some traumas that you were facing before. So let's get into this, yeah? What happened? Let's just start from the genesis. How was life growing up for you?
You know, every time you mention trauma, it's kind of like telling me you have opened a door, get in inside here. Okay. Trauma. That word is not an easy word.
Yes.
My mom got pregnant when she was 18 years. My biological dad abandoned my mom. And I was born on 27 January 1987. 1988, my mom went to look for a job in a place called Masinga. And she met a hubby. And during this time, I want to just, maybe my mom was looking for a father figure for me as a boy. And when they got together, my mom and my dad, they were having a lot of struggles. I guess the man, you know, like every man has a way that he wants his family to be. And I want to assume, or from my experience, the way I have checked in with my family, that there is a way that my stepdad wanted his family to be. He's a good man. However, he didn't handle me so well, if I may use the words. And myself, as a small kid or as a small child, my nature was very rebellious. I could not take instructions and I could not take corrections. And as a result of that, my stepdad got pissed off, got irritated, and he began to use beatings and, words to kind of, make me become like an obedient kid, trying to put me into line.
Yeah.
But as a result of that, I got traumatized in the process because of the beatings and the correction, the words, everything. It kind of created some sense of low self-esteem issues, which is something that I have grown up, and these things have, over time, they have developed into some intense emotional wounds in me, which I am actually dealing with. Yes.
Okay, and how long did this abuse happen when now growing up with your dad?
I would say since I was a little boy until I was around class 7 there.
And what about your mom at this point? What is she saying about it?
There was a lot happening in the family because just like any other relationships, there are challenges that come when two people come together. And my current dad and my mom, they were having struggles just like any other couples have struggles. And so when my dad would be like very intense in terms of correcting me and putting me together, my mom would be like, sometimes when the beatings are super intense, would be like, it's enough. Sometimes it could get worse, such a way that they would have to sit as a family down, advise my mom and my dad on how they are supposed to like to, deal with me as a kid. And that's, I, as I see it, that's the best my mom could do. And to just try to tell my dad to be easy on me. And also when she addressed the family from the side where my dad came from, they would just advise him to be more light on me and something like
And
that.
gentle, yeah.
She tried. I would say she tried.
She tried. But
She tried.
did it end there ama iliendelea?
Nino?
Did that, after being told to take it easy with you, did it end there or he continued to abuse you?
I was a very stubborn kid and a very rebellious kid. When you turn that into positive, it is what I am. I actually go for what I want. That's what I am, like that. So for me, I had an addiction to go to the movies. When I was a little boy, I discovered that movies would inspire me so much. I don't know why, what I saw in movies, but the idea of seeing stars like Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Van Damme, Mike Tyson, all those things gave me this idea that I can become a superstar, legend, a hero, or something. That's what I wanted to be like, you see. And let's say every single day, I had to go to a movie. We used to live in Dandora, in phase 5. So there used to be a video show. And every day in the morning hours around 9:30 to 11, they would have a Kung Fu movie. And I was a great fan of Kung Fu movies. And because I didn't have money, I would actually steal money from home to go and watch a movie. 5 bob tu peke yake. Sikuwa naiba pesa mingi. 5 bob tu peke yake ya kwenda kuwatch movie. But my stepdad would actually, because of that habit, my stepdad would beat me so bad. And I always say maybe it's because of my biological dad. I took that blood ya kukua. I'm not taking instruction. I'm not rebellious kind of, you know, I'm rebellious. And when the other dad came in, tried to put me into place, you know, because it's not like I have the blood of this other guy. So that was like not working. And him knowing like he's a guy, he's a father, he didn't know also of a different way of handling me, kwa sababu wazazi wa kitambo ilikuwa ni kupiga watoto, you know, ilikuwa tunachapwa.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was it. That's how everything was.
That's how your childhood was.
Yeah, that's how my childhood was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did this affect you now in the adult life? Because, you know, we our wounds, we carry, okay, we are not our wounds, we are not our mistakes, we are not our traumas, but this usually affects us in our adult life. How we operate, our relationships, each and every single thing that happens to us in our childhood, how our parents associated with us, it usually affects how we deal with people also on a normal day-to-day activities. So how did that affect you?
First, I didn't know that I had trauma. Because of what I had gone through in my upbringing. First, in my life, I never dated. I never dated a girl or slept with a girl until 2019.
Ko serious?
Kabisa. Sikuwahi lala na mdem mimi until I was 30 something.
So you were a virgin for almost all your life?
Yes.
For 30 years you were a virgin?
Yes.
You know, that is very strange hearing it coming from a man.
That's why my story is it's a strange story.
For real?
And I always tell people and they're like, what?
Hey.
I've been telling this story and you know, it's only because now I am into podcast and telling my story that people are starting to realize, oh, this guy is telling the truth.
Wow. So you actually even never associated with any woman in your life for almost 30 years?
No, I didn't know even how to interact with the women.
Wow.
I had no idea of how to interact with women. And so how did the question was, how did it affect me?
Yes. Now let's how can I say? Let's deconstruct that step by step. How did it affect you in your waking life, like right now, as Pius, you know, hizo vitu zote?
Yeah, tumesikia kwanza dating
Dating
ilikuwa ni shida.
problem,
Sikia dating ilikuwa ni noma. But also because I was in my head.
A lot, huh?
A lot. I have lived in my head. Even now I still struggle. But I've gotten better because I've been working on myself a lot.
Yes.
The effects of that was I developed some mental health issues. And there are so many of them. I developed some issues like being absent-minded, you know, like being absent-minded.
Like naweza sema kitu na hauko hapo.
Hata nikiongea saa hii na wewe, tunaweza ongea hii podcast tukie maswali zingine sijibu vile unaniuliza. Lazima nikuwe rada sana.
You have to pay close attention.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why I am doing a lot of podcasts now. Because most of the people have been asking me to start my own podcast so that I can be able to tell my story there. But this is not their story.
Yes.
This is my story. I know my story and I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. And I don't know, everyone deals with life different. A lot of people deal with their strengths. I actually work more on my weaknesses. I focus more on my weaknesses.
Yes.
And then when I'm done with my weaknesses, then I can get back into my strengths. So for me, I have seen that the inability to focus, concentrate, to be in the present moment, it is something that I need to work more on. So I have decided to to go to more podcasts, do a lot of interviews, as many as I can,
Yeah.
and then improve my sharpness and my IQ so that I can, when I begin my own podcast, I actually know what I am doing. So that grounding is one thing that I'm looking for. Yes, and there are also other things such as, what do you say? Things, some struggles that I developed were, some of the struggles that I developed were self-judgment, judging myself, self-sabotaging, bitterness, anger, some issues like ADHD kind of
Actually,
issues.
I wanted to mention ADHD when you
Yes.
said about absent-mindedness, because now that means I mean, too many tabs in your brain are open. So you're dealing with so many things at the same time. So it's very hard to keep track on whatever you are trying to focus on.
Yes.
Is that what you were trying to mean?
Yes. But also, as I told you, I've been working on my trauma. And when I checked in with myself as I was introspecting myself, you know, at some point I was like, hey, wait, I think I have ADHD symptoms. And I called a friend of mine, and she's a psychologist, and I told her, hey, I have all the symptoms of ADHD kind of
ADHD,
symptom.
yeah.
Yeah. And because I feel like I need a lot of attention, even as a man. I feel like I need a lot of attention.
You need attention exactly in what way exactly? From a lady, or if somebody is dealing with you, they need to deal with you solely, like wanafaa kudeal na wewe peke yako, ama in what way exactly?
Attention in a way that I want to be seen, and attention even in ladies. Like I want to, when it comes to ladies, what attention is. Let me ask you a question. When ladies say that they like attention, what do you actually mean as a woman when you say you like attention?
When I say I like attention, I just want you to focus on what I'm saying, what I'm doing, what I want, what I like. That's attention.
That's attention.
Yes. Like basically, it's like you're taking care of a kid, but now in a relationship.
Okay.
Yes.
So for me, I also have had struggle with that. Yes, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens to, it's actually something that is in almost 80% of the men today.
Oh, for real?
Actually, it's true. That's why we are having men's problems. Men's problems are going out. But they will never say that they need attention.
Yeah.
I think I'm the first man to ever say like that. But it's true. Tunataka attention. Tupewe tu attention.
So what did your psychologist conclude? Because you know also there has to be a diagnosis when you're going for a mental checkup. There has to be a diagnosis for that. Did you take a step further, or it just ended there where she concluded that you have ADHD?
We kind of first analyzed all the symptoms of ADHD. And one thing is like I'm hyper kind of a person. But also what has helped me is yoga. That's why you see me, I'm kind of chilled, calm. Yoga has helped me to remain calm. Otherwise, before yoga, I was super hyper kind of a person. And also I noticed, because these are things that I have to be more present for me to see my trauma, to see the things that I'm really struggling with. So the other thing that I noticed is that I would struggle with concentration. You see, like these games, you go out with friends and you're playing these games, concentration is the game. Sijui, what?
Keep the rhythm if you can.
Concentration is the game, keep the rhythm if you can. Those kind of games, people wanaenda kucheza boretum, sijui wakienda wapi. I noticed I couldn't play those games. I can do anything with friends, but when it comes to games such as concentration games, I will just sit down. You see? So concentration is a problem. Focus is a problem. and putting conversation, putting one conversation in one line, like kustick kwa theme na kwa topic, it's really also a challenge. So I have all these symptoms za nini, but then when I talk to a psychologist and I talk to a therapist, they discovered that I am very intelligent. I have a very high IQ because I'm able to see whatever is happening, and I can be able to talk about everything. And so my therapist after having a conversation with her, she said that I do not have the ADHD like thing. Let me put it like this. Everyone who is in the world, one way or the other, they have that symptom of ADHD because some way or the other, we all need some sense of attention to some level. But just some people, it's just so much extreme. Some people struggle with loneliness in an extreme kind of level. So, but for me, because I'm aware and I know everything and I can talk about it, so she said, because of my trauma complications or whatever, it's not so much of an ADHD, but I should check in with something like a personality disorder.
Oh.
Yes, personality disorder because of the
A
trauma.
personality disorder complex.
Yes, something like that, but not like more of an ADHD or something like that.
Okay.
Yes, it could be something like a personality disorder, something like that.
And did you take a step further to go and maybe see how this is actually true?
No, I haven't taken that because this is something that I'm also working on and processing as I work on myself. But I am into that.
Okay. So
But even because I have a therapist.
up to today, you have a therapist?
I have a therapist. I have therapists actually. I have like
How many?
I have like 2 and one psychologist.
Wow.
So I talk to them every time I am having intense moment. And my diagnosis shows that I'm very okay. Even with my therapist, they say that I'm okay. I have complications and I have these kind of trauma things that I'm dealing with, but I'm more aware of everything that is happening around me. So I'm more grounded. And according to the therapist and everything, check up, it shows that I'm good to go and change the world.
Okay. So when you say intense moments, what do you mean by intense moments?
Processing trauma isn't an easy thing. Everyone processes trauma on a different level. And curiosity for everyone when it comes to trauma, it's also different. And for me, my curiosity to want to come out of my struggles and to come out of my trauma, I went deep into introspection. And that meant also interfering with the past. Intense in such a way, like in a modern world where everyone is looking for money, everyone is looking for a career, everyone is looking for that and that. People are going crazy nowadays because of money, relationships, and all that thing. My case is different. I actually have no interest in those things. My interest is just healing, and every single day for me, it's just been working on my healing, working on my trauma, and most of the time I spend most of the time being on my own. I just have a small group, people that understand me, that I can talk to, and that's a bit intense. And the most intense part is like opening doors from the past, like in terms of asking questions about my past. It's very, very intense. It's very, very, very intense because sometimes when you open a door that is closed from the past, it can really bring issues in the present moment. I'll just give you. Do you watch movies?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever watched this movie called? It's called what? It's done by a guy called Fred Krueger. Nightmare in Elm Street.
Yes, I
Have you
have.
watched that movie?
Yeah.
So in this movie, I think you find like someone sleeps, and then they wake up in a different world, and then Freddy comes and starts haunting them,
Yes.
giving them horrible moments, and if you're not very careful, Freddy would actually kill you in the dream. And whatever happens in the dream, it's actually going to happen in the real world. And that's exactly the same thing what happens when you interfere with the past. So there are chances when you open doors from the past, you will never come back to the present moment. Sometimes you can open a door from the past, and what exactly will happen, it's like you were seeing my body here, but my mind is somewhere else. It's like in the past. I'm right here. When we talk, we can talk, but the mind is somewhere stuck somewhere in the past. Ndio maana actually most of the time you will hear you may ask me a question, and then when you ask me, like I answer something else because my mind is not in the present.
So, like for example, right now that I'm asking you this question, do you feel like your mind is not here? It's in the past?
I feel a sense of 80% here, but that is something that I've been working on. I still need the other 20% here. I need 100%.
You need 100% here.
Yes.
And now when you are visiting the past, you've said sometimes I might ask you a question, your body is here, but your mind is not here. Basically, that's what you're saying, eh?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. So where does it go to? Where does your mind wander off to in the past? Exactly.
The mind carries memories. As I said, a lot of people, 80% of the Kenyan people, 80% of the world people are struggling with trauma. And some people do not know. 80% of the people do not know. That means even when they are in the present moment, they still live in the memories of their past. That's why if you have had conversations with your friends, you might have heard someone say, I don't want to talk about the past. Or maybe you might have said it.
Personally. Personally, I haven't. I don't like revisiting my past.
Yes.
But personally, I haven't. I don't like revisiting the past.
That is a good thing.
Yeah.
So some people don't like talking about their past. And the reason why they don't want to talk about their past, it's because they are in the past.
Or they're in that, mentally they're
Yes,
still in the past.
They are still in the past.
So that's why they don't want to talk about it.
Yes,
So,
because the moment they touch it, it kind of come in the physical sense of kind of it like shakes everything and demoralizes everything.
So you become somebody, unakuwa mtu ambaye, you become you, but now in that particular scenario.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yes, so when people, it's very easy for people to say, I don't want to talk about the past. I don't talk about the past. But in a real sense, when you look at it diligently, you will find that 80% of the people live in the past. So people run away from past. They don't face the past. And those are two different things. I noticed that in my journey of healing, in my journey of working on myself, I noticed that most of the families are going through so much. Actually, I like using a 80-20 principle of success. 80% of the families, they do not get along. And most of the people prefer working on themselves, far away from the families. You know, most of the people would not prefer to work with their families. You know, they would prefer to work on themselves, family kando, na mimi kando, like that. And that is also one of the reasons why we are not able to break the patterns in the family, because if the family is not together, it can be very difficult to break the patterns. But if you come together as a family, you come together, it can be easy for you to break the pattern that is there. And that is why, even as a mental health facilitator, I emphasize on the idea that if you are working on trauma, if you can find a way to engage your family, it would actually be easy for you to overcome your trauma, because in your journey of trauma where family members are involved, they can actually help you with some information that can help you to be able to deal with some of the things. Otherwise, what I have seen, it's like most of the people prefer not to talk about it and pretend that everything is well. And I have seen, I know what I'm talking about. I have seen people who come from very nice families, they marry, they get awesome kids. They are doing so much amazing. And at some point, I noticed these kind of people, like if it was a father, you notice like they diverted, they left their family, they left their children,
Yeah.
and they got married to another woman, get other children, something like this. Just trauma kind of stuffs. But you will never tell them, like, go and look, go and check in with yourself, check in with your family,
Yeah.
where the problem is. They will never accept to do that. Yeah, with the idea of, I don't want to talk about the past, I do not want to raise issues in the family, I don't want to talk about this, because I told you, if you are dealing with trauma, you have to be prepared. If you want to touch the past, you also have to be prepared, because it's going to be intense. So some people die. Some
Some people die.
some people die without working on themselves. Some people die, go to the grave with their traumas. It's not going to happen to me. Yeah, for me, I have said no.
Of course.
I'll change everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and you said that is it your psychologist? She noticed you're very intelligent.
Yes.
And you can see through things. Is this on a spiritual level? In spiritual, ama it's just like you can see things for what they are?
I have knowledge. I have experienced so many things. And one thing about me, it's like I have kept every single memory that I have experienced in my life. Both good memories and bad memories. And so I'm very authentic. What most of my friends like me because of my authenticity. The places where I am given a seat as a leader, it's because they see the authenticity that I come with. I have experienced very intense loss, failures because of working on my trauma. But also I have not run away from the failures or these low levels of life. I have remained true to myself even in those kind of moments.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
just
you
being
paint.
true to myself, I
Yeah.
guess.
Maybe you paint a picture of how those laws were, because considering this is a platform where people are coming to understand, like, if somebody has gone through this, I think also I can manage to get out of where I am emotionally, mentally, in life. You can explain to us, how were those laws for you, and how did it look like? How did you get in that situation?
It's a lot. Um, when you know, I really became more aware of my trauma when I got into my first relationship back in 2020.
Okay.
That's when I realized
During COVID.
Yes, that's when I realized my childhood trauma issues.
Yeah.
That I noticed that I could not handle a relationship until now. I work on myself, and I knew the only way, if I want to be in a relationship, I just have to work on myself.
And how was that for you? How did you get, you know, it got to a point where you fell in love, number one.
Vibaya sana.
How did you meet this lady? How did it happen? Please tell us.
How did we meet? We just met on Facebook, and I said hi and asked for the number, and we met, and we
Kicked things off.
we did the relationship thing, but I don't want to talk about that for now.
How long was the relationship?
We stayed together 2020. We met 2020 around September. 2021 it was on and off. Actually, I was in a relationship on and off for more than 35 times, so I didn't know how to let go. So I kept on allowing the relationship to keep on coming back to me.
This was your first relationship?
Yes, this was.
Was it her first relationship?
Love at first sight, no. Yeah. I wanted to say something, but then I remembered I am on a podcast.
But it's an open forum. We have said this is free therapy. You come and talk about those things here. And you shouldn't be afraid at all. What did she do?
Let me put off that story of my ex-girlfriend. I don't want to talk about my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
But this is what she had, her own good side, which I liked so much, that made me love her so much. She made me feel like complete, and she made me have a sense of like the dream that I wanted to have of creating impact in the world. She's the kind of a person that I wanted to be with. But that dream, it didn't turn out to be like that, because she was also struggling with her own kind of trauma. And when she left me, I really couldn't connect with myself. You know, I was struggling. I was checking her social media every single day. I actually struggled with checking her social media for almost for 1 year, 1.5 years. Kuangalia tu Facebook.
Ulikuwa unampenda?
Nampenda vibaya sana. So I struggled with that so much. And one day I just asked myself, why is it like I cannot live without this woman? You know, why do I keep on, you know, calling her back? And that is now when I discovered that I have trauma issues, you know, and I'm so much attached on her, and emotionally I am dependent on her. So I had to ask myself, how can I start my life like without her, you know, I began to ask myself questions such as, if she was out of my life, what would my life look like, you know? And that's when I discovered my purpose in my life. You know, I just knew. I knew kabisa, if I let go of this lady, I would be a man of impact, and I will create influence in the lives of people, and I will also be able to help other people who are struggling with relationships, or people who are in toxic relationships, heartbroken people. I would just give hope to people, and over time have become one of the best relationship mental wellness facilitators in the country.
Nice.
I'm helping a lot of people. And that's good. So I believe that my ex was, you know, there is a Buddhist saying, some people come into your life to teach you who you are. And I believe that was her purpose for my life. Yes.
Okay. And then you got into Hinduism.
Yeah?
You told us earlier that you actually were practicing Hinduism. How was that? How was that experience? Because sisi tunaonanga tu Wahindi wana practice things, you know, it's their culture, we respect that. But how was that for you, who was not practicing that religion before? Now you got into it. Ilikuwaje?
The Indian culture, it's the best culture in the world, I would say like that. It's an amazing culture. And as the other culture become more extinct,
Which other culture?
hizi culture zingine kama sisi sasa sisi tunafuata sahii, most of us culture yetu sahii African culture. We Africans, Kenyans people, we are more adopting the Western cultures. We are not living according to our own African cultures, because as Africans we have our own culture. The Luya have their culture, the Kikuyu have their culture, the Kamba have their culture. I'm a Kamba, I'm a half caste Kamba Kikuyu, but I don't have any culture. I'm cultureless.
There was no background training on this is how we talk, these are our traditions.
No. So for me, it's just knowledge I have, but I do not have culture. And you know, I'm still saying, the more we lose our culture, the more we are going to have difficulties even in building relationships, because relationships used to be built from cultural practices. And now, because we have become more intelligent, more than our ancestors, more than our culture, we're losing something. And that's why when you are a Kamba, you meet a Kikuyu, or you are from other tribe, you meet someone from other tribes. If you do not understand your culture well, 80% chances is that you will not be able to handle the relationships. Relationships needs a lot of simplicity and knowledge for it to be able to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So the Indian culture has a very, you know, if I would compare marriage in other cultures, I would say Indian culture has the highest number of marriages, well-doing marriages in the
Is
world.
it because the girl pays for the dowry, msichana analipia mahari, ama ni nini exactly na ground such cultures to have the best marriages?
Because there is a proper practice, a proper training. For the men, they are taught to focus on spirituality. So as a man, if you are from an Indian background, in an Indian culture, to have a boy, it's considered to be a very auspicious. If the family has a boy, it's considered to be very auspicious, because they believe a boy can practice spirituality, and if the boy is super well engaged, he can become a spiritual person or an enlightened kind of a person like that. And when he's properly trained, he has his consciousness in spirituality, then the man can be able to handle the family. You know, so the idea of a man being able to sustain a family comes from the spiritual practices. So in the Indian culture, the spiritual practices are more emphasized for men more than anything else. Okay. And also the women are trained. In the Indian culture, the women are not allowed to interact with men anyhowly. So women have their own duties, they have their own things to do, and so they maintain their feminine energy, and the men maintain their masculinity energy. So when the feminine and the masculine energy, they are balanced, it's easier to have marriages work. Yeah, because because relationship is just about balancing the feminine and the masculine.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. That's amazing. But hujatujibu hiyo part ya practicing Hinduism. Yes. Were you doing it like ile yenye tunaonanga kwa TV? Because unajua kuna venye Hinduism by the way tunaonanga kwa TV and how it happens in real life. Can you tell us if it's real ama inakuanga tu ni fictional?
Hebu kwanza niambie mnaonaga aje?
Tunaonanga wanafanya vitu mingi, sijui wana blow. Inaitwaje ile kitu? That smoke wanaekanga wanazungusha. There are so many things that they do. Kuna ile wanachora hapa. They don't eat animals, by the way. Hawakuli animals. Yes. So was that you in that particular situation when you're practicing Hinduism?
Yes, I went through all those kind of practices, and it's a lot. Unless I just have a podcast where I'm talking about Hinduism.
It's okay. You can talk to us. We have all the time in the world. Huh?
As I said, I don't want to talk about that so much because sometimes when I get into that, I get lost into the conversation. There is a lot from that, but what I can tell you is that I gained a lot of knowledge from that practice. You get to gain a lot of knowledge, and that knowledge that I gained when I came out of the temple after staying in the temple for 8 years.
You were in the temple for 8 years?
For 8
in
years.
Kenya or in India?
In Kenya and India. I practiced in Kenya and in India, a place called Mayapur. And I went to the spiritual places in India. The most spiritual places in India, it's in Mayapur, and the other one, it's in Vrindavan. Those are the most spiritual places in India. And it is said if a soul is fortunate to visit those places, then that soul is a very fortunate soul. Yes. And I mean, even in other religions, if you are Muslim, you visit Mecca, you're a very fortunate soul. If you're Christian, you visit Jerusalem, you'll be very fortunate. Like for me now, I just want to visit Jerusalem.
Okay.
Those holy places. So there is a lot of knowledge you get to gain from that. And one thing that I noticed that when I came out of the temple, now everything, I actually got depressed because of the lifestyle, the way people are living outside.
You went through depression?
Yes, very intense depression. I actually had 4 out-of-body experiences.
Out-of-body experiences?
Yes, inne.
Wow.
That's how niliona material world ikiwa horrible.
Wait. You had 4 out-of-body experiences through levitation. Do you say levitation? Or this other one? Ile ingine mnasemangaje?
Gani, hebu niambie nyinyi ndio mnasemaga. Unajua nasikiaga hizo vitu na nyinyi.
Astral projection.
I actually don't know about astral projection, sijui nini, hizo vitu. But I know that your body and your soul are 2 different things.
Of course, this is a vessel.
Yes, your body and your spirit are actually 2 different things. And there is also a very contradicting conversation between religions, which I feel like it has not been brought out properly because religions fight over, some religions say that we are souls and Christians say that we are spirit. So which are we? Are we spirits or are we souls? That's a question to ask. So in my quest for spirituality, one day I saw a monk and a Christian argue about whether we are souls or we are spirits. So the monk was arguing from the Bhagavad Gita, which is a scripture the Hindus read, and the Christian was arguing from the Bible. They were having not arguing, but they were having a conversation. And the conversation went like 2 hours. And I was just watching them as they were talking. And then I noticed there is a bit of misunderstanding a bit whether we are souls or we are spirits, because some would say the soul is also the spirit. Some would say like the soul and the spirit is different. But my own research and my quest for spirituality, I believe that we are more than souls, like we are spirits. And that's why I became a Christian.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay, your out of body experience. What did you see? Because a lot of people who have experienced out of body experience, they say if you're not prepared mentally for that, you might never come back.
Yeah, that's true. It depends with everyone. Now, let me tell you something. And I didn't know you were going to ask me very deep questions like this. So
Of course, this is a very deep podcast. I have to.
I wasn't prepared for this, but it's fine. Because when I got out of the temple, some of the experiences that I had, I said to myself, I will never share these experiences with
Please
anyone.
share it with us. We want people to understand and
Because
gain
I
some
thought,
knowledge.
I was like, these people, the way they are living life, they are not ready for awakening. you
No,
know, like-
we want to understand how this awakening works, especially me, the way I have a very curious mind. Please make us understand. How was that?
What if I told you I died and I came back? So you see.
Peace, we watch.
What if I told
You died and you came
I
back.
Yes.
When was that?
So this was when I was transitioning from the temple to live outside. Let me give you that story. I don't know if I can. Let me recall those memories, because those are some of the memories that I've really put away. Ndio ni focus na hii dunia ya pesa.
No. We are focusing on everything.
Mnataka kunirudisha kwa spirituality sasa.
We are having a conversation, by the way. This is a podcast that's going to go live, and I want people to understand like how these things, or at least get a glimpse or have an idea of how these things operate in spirituality.
Yes, but that conversation can only be understood by intellectual people.
Which is okay.
Yes. So I have my audience, so I'll talk to them. When I left the temple immediately, when I was transitioning from the temple to the life outside, so it was like a miracle for me, because some friends, some missionaries came to the temple and they started to preach to me about Jesus. I already knew Jesus, but now I didn't know how to go to take my life from where I was to being a Christian. And some missionaries came to the temple. They began to teach me about Bible and about everything. And I had this strength to just be able to come out of the temple and, begin a journey to being a Christian, you get? And so, because of that transitioning, I got into depression, because my mind has not been trained to live this kind of the other life. So I got into depression, and it was very intense to an extent that I began to have very intense headaches. A friend of mine who's a yoga teacher, his name is Watson Wamai, was the one who helped me to actually be able to deal with some of these problems that I was working on. So intense headaches I was having. So one day I go to sleep, and when I slept, I had an audio, and I was listening to the books of First King, First Samuel, and Chronicles. And I was listening at this podcast because I was going through so much, and I really wanted to transition from Hinduism to Christianity. And I remember I was sleeping on a bed, and I was sleeping on a bed at night, and because there was so much happening into my head, remember I have headphones and I'm listening to these scriptures play in my, so immediately at night my spirit just came out of the body. It just came out, you know, and I was like, hey, I can see my body. This is my body. And I was like, I'm dead. And I thought my parents are going to come tomorrow and take my body. But, you know, my spirit is out of the body and my body is there lying down. And I saw that the body, this is my body. You know, it was like very insane also because
Yes.
it was my first experience.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm dead. I'm dead. And then I felt a difference between my body and my spirit. The way I felt as a spirit, it was a different feeling that I have when, like now that I'm having this body. The spirit is full of so much bliss, so much peace, so much joy, happiness, all the good qualities that you can mention. It's so pure. And that is what I saw myself when I was out of the body. Okay? And within like in like after seeing all those things that I saw there, I immediately transitioned to another realm, just like this, just and my soul appeared in another realm. And in this realm, there were people. I saw people. You know, they were like pruning flowers, picking flowers like this. I saw some of the friends that I used to know in that field, in that realm. And again, someone came to me when I was there. And it's like he came to take me to the, I don't know where I was supposed to go, whether I was supposed to go to hell or I was supposed to go to heaven. I don't know. But someone came and then told me, let's go. And then as I began to follow this person, I told him, I have a purpose on earth. I have a purpose on earth. I have to go back. And then he looked at me and said, go back. And immediately, I came back to my body.
Oh.
And maybe the reason why I came back to my body was for this moment to share about that story.
Yes, definitely.
Because I had said I will never tell anyone about that story.
No, that is actually amazing, yeah?
Yeah.
And that was the first time.
That was the first time. That is the most realest experiences that the most realest experience that I had, because I feel for me that was very spiritual, because the idea of this someone in the spiritual realm telling me, like me telling him, like I have to go back, I have something that I want to do, and then this person gives me permission to go back, was like a spiritual kind of encounter.
And during these spiritual encounters, when you're in another realm, did you have one of have you ever had one of those episodes where it is very, very intense, you don't even want to experience it again?
Yes, you don't want to experience, even if it's a good one.
You don't want to experience it.
You don't want to experience it. But this is my experience. You go, because in the world there are so many people who have had out of body experiences. Some people go talk to Jesus, some people go talk to God, and they come back.
Yes.
I don't know if you ask them the same question that you're asking me, they will tell you the way I will tell you. For
Yes.
me, I wouldn't want to have those kind of experiences, you know. However, I do know, I know that this body is not permanent.
Yes.
And any time I can leave this body. And I know there is life after death. That one I know with my experience, I know completely.
Yeah.
And I know the purpose of this life is actually to find who I am.
Yes.
And to actually find someone who runs this universe and live for him. That one I know very clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Yeah, I think my mind just went blank.
Yeah, but the person who runs this universe is actually, in the Christianity, different religions believe in different people who actually watch over the universe. In the Christian world, it's God. Yeah. So is that the person you're intending to meet?
For me, I would say yes. I would say yes. But I also feel like I have listened to people talk about God from the aspect of, or from the concept of, I don't know, it's concept and context of Christian, Muslims, Hindus, and other religions. And when they talk about God, I have listened to almost everyone. I have listened to a bit of whatever they say about God. And for me, I just feel like there is no one who has exactly a picture of the wholeness of God. Because I feel like God is something which, or God is someone who I cannot explain. He is someone who is beyond my mind, you know, someone who runs everything and someone who controls everything at the same time. So to explain God in my own knowledge and with my own mindset, it's almost impossible. However, I do know that there is something so big that runs this world. If you have read the book of Ezekiel, which is a book that I'm reading now, it talks about how God appeared to the prophet. And when he came to prophet Ezekiel, he had different heads. He had a head of an eagle, head of a lion. He had something like wheels and feet and mabawa, feathers,
Yeah.
all that. And that form, it's very scary. It's very scary, but at the same time very um, supernatural. Let me say the right word would be very supernatural. And I would say that there is, whoever runs this universe, he is supernatural and he is more bigger, more than any human can think of. And that is something that I believe is there.
Okay.
Yes.
Amazing. So in your quest to, making sure you're a mental health advocate, currently what are the things that you're looking forward to? Maybe you can tell us that. And also how you're planning to change, the world and make it a better place.
My intention is to create hope. 80% of the society today is losing hope. 80% of relationships, people are losing hope. 80% of the people are struggling to connect with themselves, including myself. I am also like working a lot to really have a deeper connection with myself.
Yeah.
And I really want to work with people. I want to work with humans because I'm not the only intelligent person.
Yeah.
There are so many intelligent people. And there is a saying, when we come together, something bigger happens. And this is something we should look forward to as humanity. When people struggle with relationships, we should actually find ways to empower people.
Yeah.
When you find someone who is really going through a lot, you know, like find a way to encourage them, to give them hope, and to also give them the right knowledge about relationships. I don't like the way people handle relationships, honestly, to be honest. I don't like the way most people handle relationships.
How do you think relationships should be handled?
How do I think relationship to be handled? First, I feel I should have a very good relationship with myself. And even to understand myself, it's a lot of work. Do you know you can really work on yourself in this one lifetime and not be able to really get a fully, it's very possible to work on yourself this lifetime, the whole of it, and not really become so much aware of yourself, because there is so much into like understanding who you are as a person. And to finish the work, I actually need a partner who helps me to accomplish that. So if I have a purpose in my life, I understand what life is about. I also need someone who also understands what life is all about. And so we work together towards that. So it's more of me having a connection with myself, and also someone else also having a connection with themselves. So when we come together, we all have the same goal. You know, our minds are connected to some way. We know there is higher power. There's something which empowers us, drives us. And that is something that can make relationships work so well. Amazing. Sometimes we work on ourselves so much, we forget that other people are fallen.
Of course.
And that's why you find like even the most richest billionaires in the world, the most richest people in the world, they are not married.
Yeah.
Most richest people in the world, you find most of them do not have marriages, because they have worked so much on themselves. They do not know how to handle people. Actually, most of the people that are rich in the world, they do not do a lot on like interacting with people one-on-one. They just use money. They give charity, you know?
Yeah.
But you should, if you have really worked on yourself super good, you should be able to also kind of run a group of people. I do not mean to limit anyone. Money is okay, giving charity and everything, so good, but also I feel like you should be able to also kind of pick other people and uplift them. It's like we have billionaires clubs, like people who are billionaires, and these people also teach other people like how to become billionaires. Let me tell you one billionaire that I respect so much. His name is Dr. Wale Akinyemi. He's now in Kenya, but I got some knowledge from him when I was a young boy seeking myself.
Yeah.
I met Dr. Wale Akinyemi and I listened to him, and I noticed this guy was an amazing billionaire. And because why I consider Dr. Wale Akinyemi as the greatest billionaire, it's because for him, it's not about money. For him, it's about raising other young people to also become billionaire like him.
Yes.
Yes. So when it comes to relationship, you also want to, you want to work on yourself, but when you work on yourself, don't work on yourself such a way you forget that there are other people who do not know how to, have them up so that you can leave it for other people.
Yes. Amazing. Awesome. Then thank you so much for coming through.
You're most welcome.
Watu watakupata aje online pale hivyo kwenye social media? You can give us your social media handles.
Kalu Pius Child, TikTok, Kalu Pius Child, Instagram, Kalu Pius Child, Facebook, Kalu Pius Child everywhere. However, just use the simple name Peace.
Nice.
Always call me Peace.
Awesome. And we will also tag him on this video, of course. And in case you have any stories, I always say, in case you have a story to share right here, you want to talk about your past, you want to talk about your present, you want to talk about your future and what you want to do, share your side of the story. This is an open forum. As I said, my side of the story is a free therapy session, all right? Do you feel like release a few things from your chest?
Nimeachilia vitu mob. 80% zimeenda.
You see, I told you. And also don't forget, this channel is supported by you. So in case you are looking forward to supporting us, nakwambia namba ya M-Pesa iko pale hivyo chini kwenye bana. So make sure you look for us today. Our interviews are free of charge. We don't ask for money, by the way, to interview people. So in case you're out there and you need to share your story, make sure you reach out to us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and also YouTube at My Side of the Story. My name is Cookie, Cookie the baddest, Cookie the illest, Cookie the lyrical mistress. Until next time, see you.